These people are the most corrupt bunch of weirdos ever. Like, they are, I mean, I don't think there's really, I don't think there's really one, like, nice person in this whole group of folks. I think actually the nicest person is the one we thought was the most infamous in the beginning. And whatever. Hey guys, thanks so much for clicking on the video. This is my review for American Horror Story 1984. This is season 9, episode 8. I cannot thank you all enough for pushing and pushing and pushing and having me to actually watch this season, because I was not going to watch. But it's the furthest thing. Truly, it's the things that I don't care for in horror movies. All those elements are there. But if I'd have missed out on all this other foolishness, I would have been so mad. So thank you all so much for pushing for me to watch 1984. Because, listen, a mess. Anyway, corrupt bunch. We got I've called them double agents and everything else. But they're just a corrupt bunch of goons is what they are. Truly. Anyway, so let's go. It's Hell Night. 1989, which, Hell Night is the night before Halloween. Anyway, so Brooke and Donna are in a little restaurant, they're eating, and they run into this broad who is called Stacy. Stacy is actually a writer for the Inquirer. And she, on the side, listen, Stacy's about a paycheck, period. So much so that it's gonna be her downfall, like truly. She's about a check. She also writes books about serial killers, and she thought that she recognized Brooke. And she's like, "Your costume is great," and she told her, "Oh yeah, we're going up to the concert or whatever." She's like, "Oh, me too." She said, "Your costume's great." So we're like, "Okay, cool, no problem." So that's that. They see her, and Donna tells her, she says, "I think she really knew who I was." And she said, "Girl, how could she know who you are? You're dead, remember? You're dead." So, no, that's not it. You're dead, period. So that's that, and they're leaving the restaurant. So then we run into this whole little thing. We see this pink Mary Kay car, basically, is what it is. Mary Kay was the big thing in the late 80s, early 90s. So we see the little pink Mary Kay car. And it's being driven by who we're going to start calling Thumbs. The serial killer that the girls left tied to the pole. Well, what ended up happening is a Mary Kay rep had driven by, seen him, untied him, and was calling herself helping him, and end up in the trunk of the car. So she's alive, but she's in the trunk of the car. He ends up picking up the hitchhiker. The hitchhiker, he's close to the camp, and he picks up the hitchhiker. The hitchhiker, he's dazed and confused, which is strange. I don't know why he's always dazed and confused, whereas nobody else seems to be dazed and confused. And maybe it's because of the way he got killed the first time. Maybe he hit his head or something, and in transition, he just always stays dazed and confused. But I noticed that he's the only one that's always dazed and confused and looking simple. But anyway, he gets picked up by a serial killer. And he also makes it away because they weren't all that close to the camp. He wasn't on the campgrounds. Because he was on the highway. He actually was on the highway. I don't know, Ryan. Anyway, but he picked him up and all of that. And it was kind of it was funny because he was listening to music, and that's what he said. Did you hear that? And he heard the thumping in the trunk of the woman, and so he pulled the car over. He goes out, goes to the back, and he's saying something to her, and she's like, "Please, just let me go. Just let me go. I swear I won't tell anybody." And she goes to try to make a deal with him or something. Well, it just irritated him, and he ended up stabbing her in the chest and all that. He offed her. And then, which was weird, because why did he just offer her in the first place? But whatever. He's a weirdo anyway. So he comes back up to the front of the car, and the hitchhiker's gone. He done jumped out and ran. So I'm like, he's the strangest little drifter ever. But anyway, he always runs back to the camp. Like that's the crazy part. He runs back to the camp, but it seems as though he's able to get off the grounds. I don't know. That's weird. Anyway, I guess everything ain't gonna be perfect, but Ryan, yeah, you're gonna have to come together with that. But anyhow, so then we see Courtney and Margaret. Courtney's the assistant with the terrible wig, and Margaret's telling him, "Listen, Kaja Gugu is dead, and you're gonna clean all of this up and cut him up." He's like, "Honey, I am too small to be trying to drag bodies." She's like, "That's why you're going to cut them up into little pieces. Man up. Cut them up into little pieces, put them in the garbage bags, put it into this van, get rid of them, get rid of the bodies, and that's that. This concert is not being shut down. We're having our concert. That's that." So she leaves old scary ass Courtney. Courtney's called himself doing what he's doing, and he's cutting up the bodies, okay? Now remember, the bodies don't actually go away. The bodies are actually, they do have to be disposed of, okay? And the people come back. So you could actually be standing somewhere and your body is still there. Like you could stand over your own body, which is the stress. I really noticed that in this episode. So Courtney's just about halfway done, and he hears some music and some talking and carried on, and he walks around the side of the bus to the other side of the bus, and Kaja Gugu's back there rehearsing because they didn't woke back up and they're back there rehearsing, and Courtney's like dealing with the body parts. And Courtney's like, "You know what? This is just too much. This is too much." And that's the last we've seen of Courtney. I ain't seen Courtney, so I don't know where Courtney went, but yeah. If Courtney had any good sense, he skedaddle. But anyway, so we end up seeing Ramirez and Jingles. They run into each other, and baby, they get to fighting. The two of them get to fighting, and of course, Jingles' whole thing is to kill Ramirez on the grounds of the camp, so he'll be locked in at the camp. If he dies on the grounds of the camp, he supposedly will be locked in. But remember, he died on the grounds of the camp before, and Satan brought him back, and he was able to leave. So I don't know. Like, Ryan, come on, you doing something's going on here. But this is the thing. Now, Jingles wants to kill Ramirez, and that's supposed to lock him to the grounds. Okay? So that's that. And remember, Jingles is now locked to the grounds because he killed himself on the grounds, and he's locked to the grounds. So I guess but I mean, well, Jingles won't get another shot with Satan, but why wouldn't Ramirez get another shot with Satan? You know what I mean? Satan will probably just free him again because he's crazy as hell. He'll probably free him again. But anyway, that's Jingles' plan. So anyway, they're fighting and carrying on. And the next thing you know, they end up down on the road, and boom, this pink car with Thumbs ends up banging into Jingles and knocking him down an embankment. And Ramirez gets pissed, is like, "You let him get away." And He's like, whoa, hold on. And he notices him and tells him who he is, tells him he's like a budding serial killer. He's telling him, my numbers. I'm like, I'm up to 6. And he's like all crazy. And he's, they're a whole lot alike or whatever. And Ramirez is like, you know what? I can work with this. So they get that thing together. Ramirez cuts himself, does the little ritual, and says, my father's going to lead us to Jingles and whatever. So they're dealing with all of that. Okay. Then we see Montana. Remember, Montana done ran into Big Dick Trevor. Her and Trevor done went on off, honey, and they having themselves a little rendezvous, honey. And he ends up telling her how he's in love with her and this, that, and the other, and he's willing to stay there at the campgrounds with her and just be with her because there's nothing out in the world. And the 80s is gone, and she's the 80s, and he just loves her, and he hates Margaret and all of this. So they were happy. They were happy with that. Well, that was that. They were getting ready to leave the little cabin that they were in and hold that. In the meantime, in between time, with all that going on, Ramirez and Thumbs done ran into Margaret. Margaret tells them, I got a plan. I need to gather as many killers as I can. Because what we're going to do is we're going to put this place back on the map. We're going to put this place back on the map. I am going to kill all of the bands. And he's like, no. Ramirez is like, no. We'll kill everybody except for Billy Idol. Can't kill Billy Idol. So she's like, fine, we're going to kill everybody except for Billy Idol and make this place monumental, like a museum. People will run here to just to be on the grounds because of all the murder and macabre. So they're like, okay, cool, no problem. They don't care. They just want to get their numbers up for killing. Okay, so that's that. Now, when Montana and Trevor are leaving the little place where they were, the cabin they were in, that's when Margaret, Ramirez, and Thumbs actually see them leaving. So she pretty much knows what's going on. She knows about, Margaret knows the whole shebang of it all. She crazy ass. She knows what's going on. Okay, so now we got, by this time, Donna and Brooke have actually been tracked down by Stacy at their hotel. And she's like, I know who you all are. Come to my room. Let's do some talking because I know who you all are. She tells them, I've been tracking you all, this, that, thing, and the other. She shows them videotapes where she said, I paid so amount to get this video footage of you bringing her back to life and all of that. She's like, what did you give her? And this, that, thing, and the other. So they end up making a pact. She says, this is what we're trying to do. We're trying to go on up here, and see Miss Margaret, honey. We're up here, see Margaret Booth, and all of that. And she tells her, she says, well, listen, if you can get me this story, and Margaret could be, pulled in, and the murders be given to her, and I'll break the story and all that, I'll help you all get out of the country. I won't tell on you all. I'll help you all get out of the country. And they're like, okay, cool. We're down. Let's go. So after they get up there, they decide, Donna and Brooke decide, Donna told her, she says, something ain't right with Stacy. She said, she's giving me money hungry tease. And I think she's going to expose us. She says, so we can't, this ain't going to work. So Brooke tells her, fine, I'm a killer. She said, girl, that ain't even you. We came here to kill one person, Margaret. We came to kill Margaret. I'm cool with that. We're going to kill one person, but we're doing retribution. We can be saved. She said, there's evil inside of you. I know I got it too. I learned it from my father, but you kill Margaret and it's cool because you got a reason to kill Margaret. But then after that, you and I, we're going to walk away from all of this and we're going to be all right and prove that you don't have to act on the evil that's inside of you and make you keep doing killing and stuff. You ain't got to do it. So she's like, okay, whatever. She's like, but I'm killing this bitch. So that was that. She's like, okay. So she said, I'm going to lead her back to the cabin that you had me tied up in when we were up here before. And I'm going to do her ass. She's like, all right. So she gets her back there. They lower her back. They're like, come on, Stacy, lower her back there. I'm going to show you where I was tied up. So then she didn't know Donna's part, okay? So she's in there and she's explaining Donna's part. She's like, Donna's the one that really started all of this, this, that, and that. She's like, are you kidding? She's like, yeah, girl. She's like, but Charles, it is what it is, whatever, blah, blah, blah. So she got the knife. She just getting ready to slice Stacy's throat. And Donna grabs her and they get the tussling and she ends up telling Stacy, run, bitch. Run. She's going to kill you, bitch. Run. So she lets her go. She said, you're not killing her. She said, I'm telling you, we're here for retribution. We're killing Margaret and we're out. That's it. So they don't know. Margaret don't even know they're there yet. So she goes running. And she's trying to run to leave the camp. She's on the ground. She's making it, right? And then guess who she runs into? Thumbs, Ramirez, and Margaret. So she sees all three of them. She's like, oh, my God. And she's like, you're the Night Stalker. And she's like, Margaret Booth. She's like, oh, my God. So they weren't lying. So now the three of them know that Donna and Brooke are on the grounds. And she's like, listen, I could get you some fame or I could get out of here and don't say anything. I could just don't say anything. I'm a reporter. I write books, this, that, and the other. Child Ramirez was like, I really hate writers. I really do. That's how I got caught. So the two of them at the same time, him and Thumbs, they just stabbed her. One from the front, one from the back. I was like, oh, they fucked Stacy up. So Stacy's done, and she's stuck on the grounds now as well. I said, oh, okay. So that's that. She's done. Now, Jingles, Ramirez, and Thumbs have a run-in because Xavier runs into Ramirez and Thumbs and tells them, oh yeah, so you're back. And they're like, we're looking for Jingles. He says, I'll show you where he's buried at. And he's going to find that. He'll definitely come back to where he's buried at. So when he gets there, you'll be there waiting on him. So they're standing there and they digging and they're like, okay, you see the body where it's like down on the ground. They dug it up. And he's like, this is where he's at. And next thing you know, you see a knife just come through Xavier's chest. It's Jingles. Jingles done killed Xavier again. I said, oh, Xavier is going to be pissed. So he killed him again. So all of this is going on. And next thing you know, Jingles and Ramirez get to fighting. They get to fighting again. And the next thing you know, he's like, he said, I'm going to kill you. This, that, and the other. He said, no, you're not. He said, I'm leaving. He said, I'm going to go back up to Alaska. He said, this is where he said, so you're here. So you're locked here. I don't have no purpose here no more. I'm gone. I'm getting ready to leave. You can't stop me anymore from what I'm doing. I'm leaving here. I'm going to Alaska. And I'm going to cut your baby into little pieces. And then I'm going to go back to doing what it is I'm doing. Tells the old boy, step aside. Him and Jingles get to going at it. The next thing you know, he gets him down. Jingles got Ramirez down, get ready to do him, right? And you hear a bang, and you just see Jingles' head just blow off. Margaret done shot Jingles' head off, and he over there dead. I said, damn. So he's like, damn it. He's like, I need to kill him. Said, you done robbed me of that yet again, So they go on. That's what she ended up telling them about her plan, going into more about the plan. No, listen now, this is the whole plan now. So they're like, okay, cool. Well, we'll start what we're doing here. Then we're up out of here. She said, he going to wake up soon. He said, let's go. We're going to go out of here. So they left. They walked off and left. Jingles wakes up. And when he wakes up, he woke up. He was tied to the tree. He was tied to a tree, and all of the people who he had killed for the camp, all of them were around. Xavier had to woke up first, and they're all around. And then he had to talk. He was pleading with them and filling them in on everything, and telling them, you know, my son is good. My son ain't did nothing to nobody or anything like that. Please, just I'm be stuck here with you all. It is what it is. But why let the world suffer for what we've done? I need to stop him. You guys need to let me stop him. And they're like, okay, so I thought they were going to do it. I thought they were going to go ahead and let him handle it. And the next thing I know, I see him down on the pier, and it's the boys. It's the three little the little pranksters. They're down there, and they're with Xavier, and they all stab him, and they're like, let's not kill him. Let's let him bleed out slowly. So they take him, and they put him into the boat. Well, before any of that happened, they tell the whole story. So now the campers are once again mad at each other again, because they get down there, they're all gathered together, and Jingles told the story of how Montana played a part in all of that and brought everybody, and she was dating Ramirez and all of that shit. So they told all that. So they walking around, they all pretty much mad at each other, but they got forever to figure it out and get unmad with each other, because they just gonna be killing. So everybody got an attitude. Everybody mad. They all got an attitude. All of them are killers. Like, everybody is killers except for Ray, actually. So I forgot about Ray. But Ray is not a killer. But Ray, yeah. So I said everybody was bad. Ray is not bad. Ray's not bad. But everybody else is. Everybody else is a damn lunatic. But anyway, so they got him down there. They stabbed him. They put him in the boat. Put him in the boat. And they sent him out into the water. And said, we're just going to let him bleed out. They said, we're just going to keep on killing you over and over and over again. We're going to stalk you down, and we're going to kill you for fun. We're just going to keep on doing it, because we're pissed that you ruined our lives. Montana, in the meantime, then ran into Trevor, and she tells Trevor, no, you know, because she got to feeling bad about what she did and all of that. But then she was like, I don't really feel all that bad. Why do men get to act terrible, and then women? You know, it's always such a double standard. Like, girl, why is you trying to play the Jedi mind trick on people? It just was what it was. But her whole thing was to try to run Trevor off and make him think she was a bad person, and he would just run off and get away from the camp, you know, so he don't have to die, because she does like Trevor. So he ends up walking off. She's like, okay, so she's drowning in her sorrows. She walks down by the pier, and she's over there. She's like on the ground. The pier's over here. The boat is in the middle of the water. She is standing there, and she sees Jingles. He sees Montana, and he sits up. And he could tell when he was tied up that Montana was kind of connecting with what he was saying. You know, she was connecting, and he's thinking maybe she'll help him. Child, before anything happened, then it's the moment I've been waiting on, because I knew it was coming. I knew we were going to have that Friday the 13th Jason shows up moment. And sure enough, out of the water comes his baby brother looking like shit. Bobby. Remember, Bobby died in the water. Remember, that's why the mother could never find him, because he was in the water. So he goes in the water. Bobby pulls him into the water. So in essence, he didn't just bleed out. He drowned, just like Bobby did. So now nobody knows anything about Jingles' whereabouts, really, except for Montana. She don't know what that whole connection is. She don't know the connection, but she knows she's seen him go into the water, and that's it. But now this is the thing. Dying in the water is why the mother couldn't find the little boy at first. And in some kind of way, she figured it out. But they're in another realm. They're still there, but they're in another realm, but they're away from everybody else. And it's peaceful. She got this picnic set up and she's talking to him. And, she tells him, he's like, I failed. He's like, and she's like, oh, don't worry about it. She done forgave him and everything because now she's been reunited with her baby. And Bobby don't look crazy. When Jingles wakes up, again, he looks like little Bobby, like he did when he died. Jingles look older than the damn mother. Well, he is actually older than the mother in real time. But yeah, so she's like, just stay here with us. Nobody will ever be able to find you. Nobody will be able to bother you. But what you have to do with the past is just let the past stay in the past. So that's basically what she's telling you. Gotta just forget about your son. Your son gonna get whatever he get. Ramirez is gonna get to him. Ain't nothing you can do about it. Just stay here with us and don't worry about it. And I'm like, that's not gonna work. But that's where we actually ended out at. That's where we ended out at for now. But I can tell you, Jingle's not going to go for that. That all sound real nice, but he not going. He got to come on up out of there and try to save little Bobby. So a mess. And I'm like, this is the funny part is the mother in the midst of all the mother that lost her damn mind. She just as crazy as Dick's hat band. But whatever. So interesting. Like I said, I thank you all for making me watch this because this is so twisted. It is so twisted. Some little things are kind of unraveling and little things ain't making a whole lot of sense. But okay, is what it is. And listen, there's 9 episodes. Next week is the finale. So I will meet you all for the finale and we'll see where this is going to go. All right, you guys. Later.